everyone, good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that bell. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you find it in your heart, go ahead and comment. Let me know what you think below after the video has ended. Today we're going to talk a little bit about becoming an entrepreneur, what it takes, and the steps that I took to get myself started. For me, first and foremost, passion. You need to be passionate about whatever it is that you are going into. With the passion, everything else will start to fall into place. Remember that a great educational foundation is always key. So you need to know what you're doing. You need to know the why. You have to picture your creation as a circle. And in order for this circle to start to run smooth or to even be a circle, it has to have all the pieces. So for me, I needed to make sure that I had legal. I needed to have the business mind. I needed to understand why I was doing what I was doing, get all my materials, and so on and so forth. Whatever you are doing, you need to make sure that you have that proper foundation. And then always keep a couple of good friends. For me, I lean on my legal all the time. I have 100% trust in them. And you should also, in whoever it is that you have embarking on this journey with you. The second thing that I would always recommend also is this is business. And in business, a lot of times, although we as humans are very emotional, logical is the best way to run a building. You need to do your best to separate emotion from the business aspect. Because as a business owner, and even in management, in everyday life, you're going to be faced with decisions. And these decisions need to be made on logic, rationale, not on emotion. You can imagine that making a decision running off of emotion is going to be very different than making a decision based on the facts, what is. There's going to be times where you may have to hire and fire and so on and so forth. And I would always make sure you give yourself the time you need to process whatever situation, circumstance it is before you make a decision like that. The very first time that I fired somebody probably was one of the hardest things that I had to do beginning in management. It took me days, and even in the conversation, I found it to be very awkward. It was hard. It's just not something that I like. I like to take coaching counseling as opportunities to learn. Now, of course, there's always going to be boundaries, and we have to understand that as humans, we all learn different. There's a learning curve in everybody. You have some employees and staff that will catch on really quick, and then you have some that you may need to take a little bit more time with. I always say that the opportunities to learn and to teach are going to be more beneficial for your employee in the long run than coaching, counseling, and terming right away. See, coaching, counseling is good because you're bringing whatever issue it is to light. However, coaching, counseling, rather than the opportunities to learn, kind of puts the bad, salty taste in people's mouth, and it can get awkward. And obviously, depending on the circumstance, if somebody does something, you can imagine that sometimes, hopefully most times, it's just an honest mistake. So that's why I enjoy the opportunities to learn. Me too. I do not know everything, and I would love if there are other entrepreneurs out there, CEOs, that would take the time to teach me rather than come down on me and you're doing this wrong and you're doing that wrong. I don't find that to be a very beneficial approach. Also remember that there's going to be a lot of long days, long nights, and you just really need, when you're hiring staff, you have a bar, you have your requirements, and you just really need to float in them. Stay in them. I would never drop your bar for the sake of just having people to have, because that's when you'll see a lot of turnover, very finicky, very flighty kind of people. I would also avoid those kind of people also. Remember that people are going to do what they want to do. If they accept a position or if they give you their word and then they do not do what they're saying that they're going to do, and this is something that's reoccurring, I personally, as an entrepreneur and somebody heavy in business, I would pull that person, because that flighty stuff is a risk. It's a risk in the business world. Maybe in personal relationships, maybe that's something that some people would like to work out or work with. For me, in all realms, the flighty, the finicky, the committal, uncommittal type would be somebody that I would preferably like to distance myself with, because there's no real certainty. There's this kind of, you don't know what's really what. Yes, no, I'll be there, I won't, I don't know, kind of. It's too hard. In the business world, it's too hard to run a business with that kind of nature. I would also say that communication is probably the number one thing that is going to get things flowing. Just everybody on the same page, creating that team morale, being extremely understanding and personable, relatable to your staff. Remember, there's always fine lines in all of this. So please take what I'm saying for very face value. I am not at all saying that you need to be best friends with your staff. I actually do not encourage that at all. I think that if you're in management, that you're put there for a reason. And although I do believe that everybody should have respect for one another, I don't believe that the best friend approach to your coworkers is the best business approach. Now, other people would say something different, but the reason I personally choose to approach it this way is this. If something happens, remember business first. If you have to make a decision, say this person isn't doing their job, or say they're showing up late, or say that they agree to something and then they take it back, and that is something that continues to happen. You have to make a decision that's the best for the business project or whatever it is that you're working on. It's going to make it hard. The likelihood of you being able to pull the trigger on a decision logically is now jaded by the fact that you've now built an emotional model. So this is the reason I choose to make my business relationships, and my personal relationships. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please go ahead and comment below. For Pulse Fitness was something I created honestly just laying in bed. It was something I thought of. I wanted to create something that came full circle to being a nurse. And to me, the medical intervention is amazing. It is amazing what we see people come out of and work through, and these families thrive with, and the resilience it's just mind-blowing. I wanted to create something that I knew, like an aftercare, like to keep people moving, keep a very positive movement that helped people understand the reason why it is important to remain healthy, to eat healthy, to keep moving. And the reason is because there are several disease processes that are created from a sedentary lifestyle, like diabetes, like hypertension, and other disease processes that we can 100% avoid if we just understood how. This is where the doctors and nurses of Pulse Fitness come in. Each and every one of us are specialized in our own areas of expertise. I in particular am a geriatric nurse. So I work with individuals that are 50 years of age and older. Of course, I work with everybody that is younger. My umbrella is vast. I've worked med-surg, subacute, assisted living, telemetry, continuing care, and in home. So there's a very big scope that I fall under. Again, all age groups. I've done pediatrics. However, I found that after a while of being a nurse, my heart kept going back to our neurological disease processes, our Alzheimer's and dementia patients. And then it just so happened that my father was actually diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. So it's something that truly hits home for me. And I truly believe that with the knowledge base, with the understanding of the why it's very important to continue to move and keep everybody mentally and physically stimulated, I think that we are creating a healthier society. So that's why I created Pulse Fitness. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please go ahead and comment below. My Instagrams, Pulse Fitness Ventura and @LittleFit, PHIT_nurse. Please have a fantastic day. Thank you guys so much for your time. See ya.